All right, guys, we are moving into the chemistry section of physical science, so we're going to get started with our Unit 9 notes. For these notes, you are going to need a periodic table, you're going to need a set of highlighters, and you're going to need something to write with. And you're going to need your Unit 9 notes packet. So go ahead and highlight the top of this, and the first thing that we want to do is look at our standard. And it's Georgia Standard of Excellence, S8P1, and it says to obtain, evaluate, and communicate information about the structure and properties of matter. So in chemistry, we're going to be focusing on matter, and we want to talk about its structure and its properties. Okay, part A. We're going to develop and use a model to compare and contrast pure substances such as elements and compounds, and then mixtures. We're going to focus on elements first, and those are going to all come from our periodic table of elements, and there's actually 118 of them. These have since been discovered. All right, so the first thing is we've got to define matter, and matter is anything with mass and volume. And mass and volume are things that we learned about in Unit 1. Remember, we find mass with the triple beam balance, and mass is the amount of matter in an object, so go ahead and add that definition. Volume, we can find a couple of different ways. The easiest, if it's liquid volume, is with the graduated cylinder. If it's a rectangular solid, we can multiply length times width times height. Or we can also use volume displacement if it's an irregular object. And volume is just how much space an object takes up. So take a moment and add that definition. You're going to need to know both of these in this unit, and that should be a review from Unit 1. Then chemistry is the study of matter. That's a very simple definition, going to be probably one of the first things that you see on a quiz coming up. So take a moment, highlight, make sure that you have all of this information in your notes. All right, then our next thing is an atom. An atom is the basic building blocks of all matter. The term atom was first used by the Greek philosopher Democritus, and the word atom comes from the term a meaning not and tomos meaning cutting. It is said that Democritus was sitting on the steps of the Parthenon with other Greek philosophers, and he was eating an apple, and he was cutting it into slices, and he cut it in half, and then he cut it in half again, and then he cut it in half again, and he wondered if he would ever get to a point where he could not cut the apple in half anymore. And that's where he came up with the term atom, where he would get to the smallest part, a meaning not, tomos meaning cutting, where he couldn't cut the apple anymore. It would be the smallest particle of that atom. So an atom is the smallest particle of matter. Now, we also want to note, and let's also highlight this, that each kind of atom is an element. That is important. Now, an element is a pure substance that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by ordinary chemical means. By ordinary chemical means. So when we look at our periodic table of elements, some elements that we have here are hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium. Those are just the first 12. And then some other common ones that we have are gold, Au, silver, Ag, platinum, PT. Those are some of the precious metals. We have mercury over here, which is a liquid at room temperature. We have bromine over here, which is also a liquid at room temperature. We have our noble or inert gases over here: helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, and radon. They're in group 18. So down here, I wanted to add this little addendum that by ordinary chemical means, a few of these we can break apart, and they're extraordinary chemical means, and that is by nuclear fission. Remember, fission meant to split apart, by nuclear fission, whereas fusion means to come together. Remember, fusion is what takes place on the sun. Fission is what takes place at nuclear power plants like Plant Vogtle, where things split apart. Okay, so we're going to talk about the parts of the atom now. So we have this chart, and you had one of these same charts when we learned about electricity, because remember, electricity is the flow of electrons. This chart is going to be a little more detailed. We're going to have the subatomic particle, the charge, the symbol, the mass of the subatomic particle, and notice the units are AMU, that stands for atomic mass unit, and then where the subatomic particle is located in the atom. So the first one we're going to talk about is the proton. The protons are the identity of the element. They're like the Social Security number. They're going to be the atomic number for the element. So the proton is positive. Its symbol is a P with a plus kind of written up high, like in math, how you would write an exponent. You would write that plus. Its mass is 1 AMU, and it is located inside of the nucleus. The neutron is identical to the proton, except it has no charge. It is neutral. So the neutron is neutral. Its symbol is N with a little 0 written up high. That's called naught. It is 1 AMU also for the mass, and it is also inside the nucleus. Now, the electrons are the ones that are very different. The electrons are negatively charged. Their symbol is E with a little negative, and they are very small when compared to the proton and the neutron. Remember, in the big picture of things, all of these are very, very small, because an atom is the smallest particle of matter. We already have that in our notes up here. But an electron is 1/1800th of an AMU. So if we were to take a proton and cut it into 1,800 pieces, one of those pieces would be the size of an electron. So they're incredibly small. And the electrons are located outside of the nucleus. That's how, when we had our electricity unit, we were able to remove electrons by rubbing a balloon on a sweater or dragging our feet across the floor, and you could become negatively charged by doing that. All right, then the last little piece of these notes is we need to define what a nucleus is, and the nucleus, go ahead and highlight that term, is the center of the atom, and it contains the P plus and the N naught. So from here on out, we're not going to write the words proton and neutron, we're going to write their symbol. So go ahead and write what those symbols are. And then the last little thing is a practice activity. We're going to draw what the atom of beryllium would look like. So the first thing we need to do on our periodic table is we need to find the element beryllium. So grab your periodic table and find the element beryllium. Its chemical symbol is a capital B and a lowercase e. Okay, do you see it on mine? So here's beryllium right here. It's in the second column, and it's also in the second row. We'll be learning what those are called in the next lesson. So beryllium has an atomic number of 4, so that means that beryllium has 4 protons. That also means that beryllium has 4 electrons. So let's fill out that part of our notes. Beryllium has 4 protons and 4 electrons. That means it's neutral. The 4 positives and the 4 negatives cancel each other out. Now, when we look right here, the atomic mass of beryllium is 9. So we've got to figure out how many neutrons beryllium has. So if the mass comes from the protons and the neutrons added up, and we get 9, and we know that there are 4 protons, 9 minus 4 will give us our neutrons. So 9 minus 4 is 5. So in an atom of beryllium, we have 4 protons, 4 electrons, and 5 neutrons. So we're going to draw in this picture over here what the atom of beryllium looks like. This center circle is going to be our nucleus. So go ahead and highlight that, and let's label it. And my nucleus I'm going to highlight and label green. You can pick whichever color you want for yours. Then my neutrons for my picture I'm going to make pink. And how many do I need for an atom of beryllium? I'm going to need 5. And I'm going to put a little N inside those. I'm going to need 4 protons, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and put those in the nucleus as well. And then for my electrons, we have 2 orbitals, and we'll be doing a lot more with this later in the unit. This is just a little introductory activity. My first orbital only holds 2 electrons, so I'm going to put an E negative here, and I'm going to put an E negative here. And then my second orbital maxes out at 8 electrons. That's called the octet rule, where the prefix oct means 8. So I'm going to put 1 here and 1 here. Because they're negatively charged, they repel each other, and they want to be as far away from each other as possible. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 electrons to match up with 4 electrons for beryllium. And these are electron orbitals, or they can also be called electron clouds. So take a moment and finish this out, and that will conclude the notes for video 1 in the Unit 9 notes. Let your teacher know if you have any questions.